Good day. Welcome to Tree Talk. It is March the 21st, and I wanted to do a real quick rant about politicians and the forestry industry in Hawaii. Lately, since the price of timber has gone through the roof because of the vid and basically bad politics, right? Um, and just the transportation thing and all that. Price of lumber has increased substantially. And when that happens, people, mostly politicians with dollar signs in their eyes, tend to notice. And it can be a good thing and a bad thing. Here locally, we're not sure which way it's going to go. Um, Most of the politicians they've got what we call wood greed. They see the dollar signs, but they have no clue on how to extract the timber, much less the value from the timber. Um, They're looking at ways to try and get the state of Hawaii to release stands of timber that have been set aside by the legislature for this purpose, for us to go in there and harvest and make forestry products and actually make money for the state. Uh, the problem is, if you look at the industry over the past 80 years, if we do this, then we'll notice that there's always one variable involved in every failure. And so far, I mean, and you can look this up yourself. It's all out there on the web. So you just got to look it up. But the one entity that is involved is the State Forestry Department and DLNR. And a lot of that, many people have asked me, well, why don't you work with the state? And my answer is that I don't work with incompetent people. It's because it just costs money. Um, they're looking at harvesting the Waikea Forest Reserve. Great. Have you done your due diligence? I would give them a rating of F. They've not done any marketing. They don't know what their stand of timber inventory is. They don't have the equipment to get it out of there. Well, the state doesn't. There's some of my buddies up there that could get it done. But again, they don't want to work with the state for the same reason. Because once you involve the Department of Forestry, then you're probably going to end up with at least 4 or 5 different state agencies involved. And they're all people that are claim to be environmentalists and they claim to be conservationists. And really, they're neither. They're pretty good at virtue signaling and they like to feel good about themselves, but they're not willing to do the hard work. So, what does that tell you? Well, it tells me one thing. If you're not willing to do the hard work, you're just there for a paycheck. And this industry is not about that. You have to earn it. It is one of the toughest industries there are. More people die in logging and timber harvesting and timber milling than most other professions except crab fishing. And then And that's what we deal with the urban forestry, which is even worse because you got people putting all kinds of metal and other foreign objects into trees that whenever we hit those, it just got multitudes more dangerous. So if we are really going to continue talking about sustainability, maybe we just need to actually step back and look at it. Sustainability is not wasting and not keeping resources that are useless. We have tens of hundreds of thousands of acres of strawberry guava. Can't make it into a high value product, but we can make it into several low value products, right? The problem is that does not cover the cost of harvesting. So who's going to come up with the rest of the money? Well, since it's on state land, I'm thinking it's probably going to have to be me and you, the taxpayer, because most of the bureaucrats, they can only print money. They have no clue how to make it. They don't know what value is. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them don't know what hard work is. And you can tell that by looking at their hands and their boots. The hands don't have any calluses and their boots don't have any scuffs. They probably haven't done any hard work in a very long time, if ever. So, hopefully we've also been contacted about possibly doing a little documentary, and hopefully that will go through. I would really like to get something there out there on film that takes all the stuff that the state forestry and DLNR has compiled, and let's take a look. Let's really take a look at it, because right now there's millions of dollars laying on the ground rotting. It's determined there's between 2 and 3 million board feet of koa laying on the ground. Koa right now is anywhere between $75 and $95 a board foot retail, and higher for the higher grades. So if that's the fact, if that is the case, you can do the math yourself. 2 million, multiply that times 95. See what you come out with. Now that's a retail number, all right? But even half of that, it's a huge number. And if that's what's laying on the ground rotting, that means there's twice that much standing that's ready to be harvested. That's just in koa. We sell a lot more things than koa. And that means that those are laying on the ground rotting too, because we can't get at them. We can't harvest it. We can't process it. And anything to do with manufacturing is being hobbled. But they want the money for it, right? Well, I think it's time we take some accountability and just go back and take a look. If you didn't do your job and you were collecting the check for said job in the forestry department, maybe you ought to just return all that money and go get a real job, because you're not doing it. Not with 600,000 acres of strawberry guava, 50,000 acres of albizia that has overrun the state. You have 975 employees at the LNR. What in the hell is wrong? You do 250 acres out of the 1.4 million acres that you were able to clear and restore 250 acres on a $53 million budget. That is just shameful. And somebody should be going to jail. I'm just saying. Well, folks, that's my rant for today. If you have any comments, let me know. You can reach me at my emails, elmermaner@yahoo.com, elmermaner@yahoo.com. Send me some questions, some ideas. What do you think? Well, how are we going to fix this? Because it's a huge problem. We don't have the personnel. We don't have the personnel to train them yet. We don't have the equipment, and we don't have the money. But if it's done right, we can use the money from the forest to pay for all this stuff. Let me know. Have a good day. Thanks. And I'm out.